What I'm going to show you is how to use a repository, or I call it a repository, and this is called the JPA repository. So what I've got to do is I've got to create an interface. So on Eclipse, I can right click and new and interface. So I've got interface. You can create class and change the class to interface, but you can also just do interface. So here I've got public interface, any name that I like, okay, extends JPA repository. So this is a class that I'm extending that class, meaning that once I've got that class extended, I can use all the methods that's in that class. I don't have to code them because I've already coded, and by just extending it, I can use methods that is in this class and not in the class that I'm in, okay? And I put in the angle brackets, I put the name of my entity class. In other words, all the methods that is in my JPA repository are methods that will access my database, like for instance, update, insert, a delete, and a select clause. And those methods will be applied to the class that I mentioned in the angle brackets. And long is the data type of my ID, or the primary key of that class. So in other words, whichever the primary key is in my users class, I've got to know what its data type is, and the data type I put here is the data type of the ID field in the user class. And for the rest, it can be empty because all my methods is in the JPA repository. So I've got to annotate my interface with @repository because my main method and my controller is now going to look for this JPA repository. So this is very simple, and it looks as if it does nothing, but it's going to give me access to methods that's in that class. And I've got to equate, I've got to make sure that the methods that's in that class is going to be using my users class. Now, that is my second step in creating SQL commands with my JPA.